Hey, it's Rafael Cintron here, teaching you what I've learned to lower my taxes from 40-something% to 0% and acquire a second passport by investment in order to quit my US passport. Today we're going to talk about the best citizenship by investment programs in the world available to you right now and in the next 12 months, in the next year to come as well, because we want to cover everything right now, and if you're watching this after a couple of years, it is still relevant to you. Right now, as it stands, there are about 9 citizenship by investment programs. Some of them have more cons than pros. Some of them are the top of the line. They have more pros than cons. They are currently in the Caribbean region: St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, and Grenada in the Caribbean islands. There are many islands. Antigua and Barbuda are 2 islands. St. Kitts and Nevis are 2 islands. They have quite small populations, and most of these islands, they really have 0% tax on everything. Even if you get the citizenship like I'm doing from St. Kitts and Nevis, after I get that citizenship, I'm not liable to report anything. I'm not liable to pay anything in tax. So they pretty much leave you alone in exchange for a nice investment of over, in the case of Dominica, $100,000, but in the case of St. Kitts and the other islands, $130,000, $150,000 and above for the investment in order to get the passport. Now, over in Europe and the Mediterranean, you have Malta being the most expensive citizenship by investment program available right now. Over $1 million you need to actually pay, and it's all a donation. That's also a big problem, where let's say you go for St. Kitts and you want to invest $150,000. That can be done as a donation, but you can also do the real estate route. With Malta, the 750,000 euro donation, non-refundable donation. So you're losing out on about $850,000 if you have the high net worth. If you want to have a better passport that has access to the top 4 countries, US, UK, Canada, Australia, then definitely Malta is a great place for you to go through the citizenship. It takes about 12 months to get the passport, and you do need to have genuine links to the country. Same region, but a little bit east, you got Turkey, which is one of the cheaper ones at $250,000 for a real estate investment. And there you can really choose from any of the properties you like, or most of the properties. I've been to Istanbul, I've been to many cities in Turkey, and you can get a very nice property for $280,000 or $300,000. So you're not buying a dump or a place that needs to be refurbished. You're actually buying a pretty nice apartment for that price, and you're getting a passport. Not the best passport in the world. Turkey can't go, for example, to the Schengen area and to the US and so on, but it is a pretty powerful passport for adding it on to your other passports that you have. For example, my plan is to get the St. Kitts citizenship by investment. I'm also working on getting citizenship by marriage in Ukraine later on, and then I want to add on the Turkish citizenship so that I can have those multiple passports, and I can go and fill in the gaps of the countries that the original passport doesn't let me go to, and I don't need to pay tax to any of those countries. Again, in the Mediterranean, in the Adriatic, is Montenegro. Absolutely beautiful country. I've been there, stayed a week there, just absolutely amazing, and they are offering citizenship by investment to a few selected individuals for around $500,000, and that one in particular is probably not going to continue into 2022 because of pressure from the EU. Montenegro is set to join the European Union pretty soon, and that program really hinders their ability to join the European Union, to have more power in the European Union, because the EU really doesn't like when countries sell passports. For the example of Cyprus, they were selling passports, and they sold a lot of passports to people that were criminal, to people that were shady, money launderers, and the EU really cracked down on that. They canceled that program. Montenegro, I was talking to some locals about it, and it's probably going to happen the exact same. They're going to cancel that program, and it's not going to be available. Very close to it, we have North Macedonia. This particular country is starting a citizenship by investment program in 2022. Not the best passport out there, but still a pretty solid passport. The problem is the same thing as Montenegro. North Macedonia is probably going to join the EU in the next, let's say, 10, 15 years, or at least they want to join the EU. So pressure from the EU to North Macedonia is going to make them cancel the program. Also, their actual requirements for the program, their different, for example, dual nationality laws, they don't really make much sense. I did a lot of research on that, and it's not really a program that you want to go for. It might be a program if, for example, your great-great-grandparents came from North Macedonia, or you have some sort of connection to the country, not a marriage, not, for example, you're living there, anything like that, that you want to, I'm a high net worth individual, why not get the passport? And you can definitely get it. Maybe the program doesn't even go through. So we're not even sure if the program is actually going to work and actually going to start accepting applications. In the other side of the world, you have Vanuatu. It's a chain of islands in the Pacific Ocean, and this one is probably the shadiest of all the programs. This one doesn't really make much sense in the way that they market it. It doesn't really make much sense in the way that it's advertised by agents that sell it. They say you can get a passport in 2 months, and in reality it takes you much longer than that. The costs aren't really explained in most places. You'll find different prices, and they really are not structured when it comes to what kind of program you're getting into. Is it a donation? Is it a real estate investment? Plus, recently I saw that there was a case of 2 South African Bitcoin entrepreneurs. They actually run an exchange in South Africa, and they scammed everything. They basically scammed everybody, pulled out the liquidity, basically the money from the exchange, bought the Vanuatu citizenship, and then escaped from South Africa to Vanuatu. That's a developing story. I read it a couple of days ago, but it just shows you how really underground this program is. I wouldn't really recommend it for anybody looking for a citizenship by investment, or maybe you're gonna quit your US passport and you wanna get another passport. What's the option there? Definitely not Vanuatu. Much better to go for a Caribbean citizenship by investment. So which one do you decide out of all of these options? Because I know there's a lot of them. In my personal experience, I chose St. Kitts and Nevis for various reasons. The main one being the price justifies what you get for a passport. My goal with that passport is to renounce my US citizenship and then add on other passports. On top of that, I want to add on a European passport, I want to add on an Eastern European passport like a Ukraine, and I want to add on more passports like a Turkey to fill in the gaps of that passport collection that I have. Now, your goal might be to just increase your travel privileges, and you want to go to Europe because you have an Indian nationality or Chinese nationality, you want to travel to the UK. St. Kitts and Nevis solves that. You can go to the UK, you can go to Europe without a visa, you can pretty much do anything you want in terms of travel apart from those top 4 countries, US, UK, Canada, and Australia. If you're not satisfied with just the Schengen area and the UK and the other countries that St. Kitts provides to you, and you want to go beyond that, you want to have access to the US, you want to have access to Canada, to Australia, to New Zealand, to basically all these different countries, and you want to live in Europe and spend a lot of time in Europe and travel freely through Europe, then Malta would be the best for you. In that case, you're going to have to dish out more than $1 million. So it really depends on your net worth, your current income, and what are you basically sacrificing with either the lower price, not so great of a passport, higher price, really good passport. If you are in the 7-figure range, for example, you're making 7 figures a year, like me, probably better to go for a Caribbean passport. That lost money of the $million-something that you're putting into Malta isn't really worth sacrificing your business, sacrificing your investments, taking so much liquidity out to put into the program so that you can just get a couple more countries or maybe live in the EU. For that, you would rather do the St. Kitts program and then do something like a Portugal Golden Visa, which will actually be a lot cheaper, and you can get the money back from the Portugal Golden Visa after 5 or 6 years. So that's actually my plan. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. I already did. It's St. Kitts and Nevis. I'm gonna get the passport pretty soon. That was $150,000. Renounce US citizenship, and then after that, add on a Portuguese Golden Visa or any other European country. I'm still looking at a lot of programs. I've researched a lot into the Portuguese Golden Visa. As you can tell from my past videos, that's really the program that interests me the most, and there's many ways to do it. Most of the ways, or all of the ways really, you get your money back. So whatever you put into the investment, you get it back after 5 or 6 years. In comparison to Malta, where you don't get it back. Okay, the timeline is 1 year versus 5 years in Portugal, but you don't get that money back, and that is a giant sunk cost that I'm not willing to go through. I just don't have that much money yet that I can say, I'm gonna put that million aside for Malta and then get the passport. That's not something that I'm interested in right now. So St. Kitts was a much better option in order to have that second passport, and then I can add on a golden visa passport, get the passport in 5 years, have that tier A European passport that I can live in Europe, do anything in Europe. And with the golden visa, you also get an actual residence permit. So even though you're not allowed to live wherever you want in Europe, you're still allowed to live in Portugal, travel through Europe, come back to Portugal, live in Portugal, travel through Europe, and you also don't need to pay taxes to Portugal in your first 10 years with the NHR program. So it really fits into the strategy that I'm following in order to be a global citizen, in order to be a wealthy expat, and that's essentially what I'm looking to do. That money that I'm saving on the Malta, which right now, let's say I were to just get a passport, quit my US citizenship, and I would just have that passport. Let's say I'm doing Malta versus I'm doing St. Kitts and Nevis. That's like $1 million difference. That million, I can invest it in my business. I can invest it in some other investments, in real estate, in crypto. And that will be much, much higher in the next 3, 4, 5 years, where I can buy maybe 5 Maltese passports, for example, in comparison to what I can buy now. Later on, as I learn more, as I grow, as I learn more about business and advertising and keep growing my business, then I can definitely put that money to much, much better use later on when I've grown it with my investment. So that's the way that I see it. If you are a 7-figure entrepreneur, probably better to go for a Caribbean citizenship by investment. If you're an 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure, maybe you're a multi-millionaire, 100 millionaire, maybe you're even a billionaire watching this channel, thank you for watching. In that case, then I would consider Malta. 1-something million. You can rent a nice place in Malta. Malta is a great place to live. You will get kind of tired of it. I've been there, and you will get a little bit bored after a while, but you can live in Europe after you have the entire passport. You do need to go through a serious background check, serious due diligence. If you have a criminal record or any background information that you might try to hide, that is going to come up in these due diligence checks, so be extremely open about what you've done. If you do have a criminal record, you want to show it and explain it in detail. So definitely, if you have a much higher net worth, much higher income, that 10-figure, maybe $100 million, maybe an income or a net worth, you want to put that towards Malta, get a really good passport, and then you can renounce your US citizenship. You can really do whatever you want at that point if you have a European really strong citizenship that you can go anywhere with it. So it just depends on your income, on your net worth, what are you willing to sacrifice, and what program is the best for you. I wouldn't really recommend Montenegro, North Macedonia, or Vanuatu. Turkey, I would recommend it as an add-on to whatever passport you already invested in. So if you invested in St. Kitts and you want to add on Turkey, because you like the country, you want to invest in real estate in Turkey, which is my case. I want to buy a really nice property on the beach close to Antalya in Turkey, and that will get me the citizenship. And that's basically the way that I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it for fun or because I like Turkey. It's just because there is a real estate investment there, and then I can get the passport as well. So that's something that you can add on to the collection of passports that you already have. That's essentially a breakdown of all the citizenship by investment programs out there. If you want my help with this, you want to book a one-on-one call and actually get help precisely on every single detail of these programs. Maybe you want help actually doing the program or just finding out more information, click that link in the description, become a client, work with me to get a second citizenship, lower your taxes, create a global lifestyle, anything that you desire. Let's work together. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and if you want to learn my story, how I bought a passport for $150,000, the St. Kitts citizenship by investment, that's gonna pop up right here. There's gonna be a square right here, and you can click the video right there to watch that other video. Subscribe, hit that notification bell and that like button, and I will see you on the next one.